Imagine you are flying home for winter break so that you can enjoy the holidays with your family. You stuff your bags full of luggage and then you take a taxi to the airport. Once there, you grab your ticket and then you make your way to the TSA security checkpoint. You put your carry-on and baggage on the conveyor belt. Then you take off your shoes and whatever metal you are wearing, like your belt, and walk to the metal detector. No beep! You grab your things without hesitation and carry on to the terminal. You're running a little late, so you quicken your pace to almost a run, and arrive at the terminal in time for your flight. Pretty normal, right? Just a normal trip to the airport. However, if you stop to look at all the other travelers around you, you might notice that not everyone made it to the gate as smoothly as you. Some people were stopped. Some people got some suspicious stares. Others are walking very slowly. If you were to carefully look at these people, you'd notice that they have something in common. They all tend to be Asian, especially those from South Asia, who have brown skin and South Asian features, or people from the Middle East. Even though you are all at the same airport, their experiences are very different because of their race. Let me open your eyes so that you can see how Asian people experience travel. First off, you notice that an Asian man or woman has walked into the TSA checkpoint. Unfortunately, he has gotten chosen point. Now you might think this is random, however, this is actually the third time he has been randomly checked in the last 3 trips he made. For Asian people, being stopped for normal checks is unfortunately a very common occurrence, whether they are a student traveling home for the break or a businessman going from one office to the other. As the American Civil Liberties Union reported to the New York Times, TSA screening techniques can easily give way to implicit or explicit bias. This often leads to racial discrimination and xenophobia. This becomes even more frequent if Asian people are wearing any Asian or religious clothing such as hijab, which indicates Muslims, or turbans, often indicating Sikhs. A New York Times report by Michael Longo revealed that the Transportation Security Administration says the extra scrutiny is necessary because scanners can have trouble seeing clear images under some types of clothing. Yet the point of these scanners is to see through these clothing without removing them and to be unobtrusive to travelers. You might also frequently notice Asian people being detained by security officers. They don't look suspicious at all, and there's no evidence that would point to them carrying weapons. The only thing separating them from other passengers is their race. Yet this racist behavior of detaining Asians is commonplace. In the UK, Asians make up about only 5% of the population, yet they make up 25% of detainments, as reported by The Guardian. Another report found that Asians are 11 times more likely to be stopped than white people at British airports under counterterrorism powers. This is analogous to black people being stopped and searched over street crime. In fact, it's pretty common for Asian travelers to arrive at the airport several hours early because they expect a hassle and delay. These video clips take comedic yet revealing takes on these issues.
The lamp wasn't there before.
The lamp, bro, that's the one. And they changed the paint still.
Have you two been in here before? Can you both please remove your shoes?
Already done it. Not just shoes, bro. Come on.
It's not just that, is it? Laptops, belts, phones.
Oh, chewing gum.
Oh, yeah, of course, chewing gum, bruv.
Like, do you have suspicious items in your bag?
Do you have any links with terrorism?
Do you know how to make a bomb?
Do you know ISIS?
Bro, to save you some time, I got a PDF copy with all the answers on my phone. I can just send it to you right now if you want.
Or I got a printed copy.
We'll send it the next Brown Boys, yeah?
Yeah, please do.
When you fly, you probably stuff your bags and wear some relaxed or loose-fitting and comfortable clothes. For most travelers, small aberrations packing and dressing are overlooked. However, for your fellow travelers who happen to be Asians, such things will be excessively exaggerated for the sake of security. For instance, once when I was in an airport, when I removed my belt for the metal detector, my jeans sagged a little since my belt was holding them up. It was fairly obvious it was because I removed my belt, but the guard decided that the bulge was too much and patted me down. This was done on the spot and not even in a private room. Furthermore, since most of the focus of the padding was on the lower half of my body, and this was done out in the open in front of everyone, it was a very humiliating experience. It made me quite angry because it was pretty obvious I wasn't carrying any weapons, and I passed the metal detector without any issues. However, I had to keep quiet because I did not want to escalate the situation and just wanted to get on my flight. This experience is actually very common for Asians, especially Asian men. If you ask some of your Asian classmates, chances are they've been victims of such a pat-down. To be clear, the problem isn't that people are getting patted down, but rather the people who are consistently being patted down tend to be Asian. This is no coincidence and points to the presence of racism in picking who gets patted down, and how much slack TSA grants to other races. As you continue your trip to the airport, you'll notice that it isn't just the airport security. When you're running late for your plane or it's about to board, you bolt down the terminals to get to your gate. However, your fellow Asian travelers don't dare do such a thing, for fear that they might be stopped as a threat. After all, people are probably thinking, isn't it scarier that an Asian man is running down the terminal than a white man? Surely the Asian man must be running after planting a bomb. The white man is just clearly late for his flight. Thoughts like these, among other travelers and security guards, are what keep Asian travelers in fear and force them to be more cautious and change their behavior. You might even hear a few passengers make some snide or overtly racist comments like ni hao or terrorist, or make microaggressions like ask, "Do you speak English?" Now, towards the end of your trip, you likely arrive at the taxi stand. While waiting, have you ever been asked how much you charge for your taxi? Or have you ever been handed luggage with the expectations that you'll load it into the trunk? Probably not. You're not a taxi driver after all. Neither am I, but I've experienced both of these circumstances, as have many other Asian travelers, because of how we look and perceptions about our race. Now, hopefully you've come to understand better how racism and race shape the experience that an Asian person undergoes while traveling. These are things that most travelers of other races probably don't realize or notice, much less think about, so hopefully the differences have become more apparent to you. Maybe next time you might even be able to stop discrimination as you see it, and we can work together to make travel comfortable and safe for everyone. So, as you are headed back home for the holidays, I urge you to keep an eye out and pay more attention to the presence and influence of racism and discrimination around you.